The Division II fours along the shoreline in lane number 1, that is Western Washington. And crossing the finish line, your gold medalist from Western Washington. Coming into that second spot, that's Florida Tech out in lane number 3. And in that third spot, that's Philadelphia University. The day, the Division II 8's petite final. Boats were just given the 5-minute.
Coming into the red buoys, last 250 meters. Let's turn it over to the finish line for the final stroke.
Lane number 1. With an open water lead, Florida Tech there in lane number 2. This is the petite final for the Division II Women's 8, and that is Philadelphia. And as Bob was calling here in this grand final of the Division II Women's 8, that is Mercyhurst along the shoreline in lane number 1, being pressed by Western Washington in lane number 2. And there's Mercyhurst, your gold medal winners, followed by Western Washington for the silver, and Barry University for the bronze. Barry followed by Seattle Pacific. That is Ohio State along the shoreline, being challenged out of lane number 2 by UCLA. In that third spot, that is Washington State, followed by Tennessee. And that is Ohio State crossing, followed by UCLA, Washington State, and Tennessee. This is the Division I Women's 4's third level final. Area in this Division I 4 petite final, lane 1. On the outside, we have Yale challenging with Clemson and the University of Michigan. And it is Princeton, followed by Stanford, and then Yale. That is unofficial. Princeton, followed by the women from Stanford, followed by Yale out in lane number 6. Those are your final Varsity 4s, that is the Virginia along the shoreline in lane 1. With California and Wisconsin battling it out for that second place position. That's Virginia unofficially, California and Wisconsin. That is unofficial. This Division I second 8 third level final. Out in lane 2, that is Tennessee, followed by University of Southern California along the shoreline in lane 1. And first across, Tennessee, followed by University of Southern California, UCLA, and Clemson. That was the Division I second 8 third level final. Wisconsin moving up ahead. Up on lane 3, Washington State, followed by Michigan State. It is unofficially Wisconsin, Washington State, Michigan State, along the shoreline, University of Washington, Ohio State, and Yale. Your winners of the petite final, University of Wisconsin.
Place. Excuse me, in fifth place is Princeton, Michigan for sixth.
And along the shoreline in this Division I Second 8 Grand Final, it is Brown in lane 1, followed by a great race for that silver medal with Stanford in lane 2 and California out in lane 6. Unofficially, it will be Stanford, followed by California, Virginia, Princeton, and Michigan. Unofficially, for the women's Division I, lane number 2. Along the shoreline, Washington State, Ohio State, and Tennessee. But this third level final belongs to Clemson in lane number 2. Followed by Washington State, Ohio State, and Tennessee. That was the Division I First Varsity 8 third level final. And ladies and gentlemen, in this Division I First Varsity 8 petite final, along the shoreline in lane number 1, that is Michigan State. Unofficially, that is Michigan State crossing with Brown and UCLA. Those are your top 3 unofficial. Wisconsin, Washington, and the University of Michigan. Once again, unofficial.
Happening because they're holding on to great speed here with lane 1 Yale just blowing away from the field here. Cal, Yale, Virginia, Princeton, Cal, 150 meters to go. Yale still holding on. Virginia still second. Princeton starting. They might take second to Virginia. USC for second.